5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Be up, pillars.
Straight ahead on Grand Junction's news leader. Mesa State students are moving in this weekend as the fall semester is about to begin. And a Montrose man is fighting for his life at an area hospital after an accident on Highway 50. Plus, unusually high winds ripped through a small Delta County town, leaving behind a path of destruction. Also, why you don't want to buy a gift card tomorrow. Grand Junction's number 1 10 o'clock news is next.
Opens up.
Grand Junction. You're watching KKCO 11 News at 10. 11 minutes
Start
of
up in
non-stop news. And your no-wait weather starts now.
Mike.
I'm very nervous, but I'm also excited.
Queuing.
The campus was kicking at Mesa State today as droves of freshmen lugging their boxes to begin a new chapter in life. Good evening and thanks for making 11 News at 10 number 1. I'm Glenn Mills. Gene is off tonight. Hundreds of freshmen hauled in their belongings to Mesa State today. The semester is kicking off with excited college kids ready to start some of the most memorable years of their lives. 11 News reporter Kelly Asmuth was in the middle of all the action. So Kelly, what was it like on campus today?
Mike.
Glenn, the back-to-school buzz could be felt all over the school today. It wasn't crazy, just a lot of busy and pumped freshmen trying to get settled into their new life.
Be up.
Pinion Hall at Mesa State is now home to hundreds of new freshmen, eager to say goodbye to mom and dad and hello to freedom.
Being on my own, I've gone to the same school my whole life, so for the first time I'm thrown out into a new mix and I have to meet new people.
Different state. I never moved from my own house. I've lived in the same house for 18 years.
More than 1,100 students packed it in. About 50 late signups are staying in hotels until their dorm scenario is straightened out. With MSC's enrollment topping itself each year, officials are trying to make more room for newcomers.
We did offer some incentives to upperclassmen to move off campus for this semester so we could make more room for the new freshmen who really need that on-campus experience. We didn't have very many students take us up on those offers.
A free room during the entire spring semester could only entice less than 100 students to leave the action on campus.
I just enjoy living on campus because it's fun, get to know people and stuff.
It's easy to make friends when everybody's dealing with the same situation, like getting locked out of the dorm or remembering that one special thing that couldn't be left behind.
I had to bring my mug.
I had to bring like 5 or 6 pillows because I need to sleep with them.
One thing I couldn't forget is my laptop.
My laptop.
My laptop. Well, one thing I could not forget that I did forget was the long body mirror.
But freshmen will certainly not forget to say goodbye to their most important teachers.
I'm really excited, but kind of missing everybody at home.
When we leave and have to say goodbye, that's going to be a little bit tougher.
Mike, Q.
Well, there's plenty of new friends to meet. Mesa State expects about 7,400 students this year, topping its record enrollment from last year. Glenn, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. Kelly Asmuth live in the studio for us tonight. A Montrose man suffered very serious injuries after rolling his car and being ejected. The accident happened just after 5 tonight on Highway 50, about 5 miles outside of Delta. Colorado State Patrol says the driver went through the median into the opposite lanes and rolled the vehicle. He was thrown about 20 feet off of the side of the road. He was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. 2 other accidents happened near that area within minutes, but no serious injuries to report in either of those.
On camera.
When it comes to reconstructing accident or crime scenes, forget the tape measure and yardstick. These days, the Grand Junction Police Department goes high-tech with lasers. 11 News reporter Aaron Luna tells us how this technology is used in everything from car accidents to murder investigations.
In B.
A serious crash leaves 1 man dead. Now Grand Junction police officers have to determine how it happened, so they reach for their laser mapping system.
Officer Rob Barker.
We basically use it to recreate a scene.
Officer Rob Barker has been using this technology for the last several years.
We generally use it for serious bodily injury or fatality car crashes.
Like the one involving a garbage truck and a pickup on Highway 6 and 50.
It's generally a quick process to get everything set up.
The system uses a device to shoot a laser out to a reflector.
1/100th of an inch is what we can get to.
Okay, we're going to
Using
tag on the
fixed
OTS.
points, officers can then use the laser to measure the exact distance to each piece of evidence, like tire marks.
With today's equipment, we can use less officers to accurately map a scene. We can do it more quickly.
The resulting data is then converted into a detailed map, something officers used to have to draw by hand. But more and more laser mapping is being used for more than just accident reports.
Now we're starting to use it to laser map our homicide scenes also.
Okay.
The most recent being the body of a man found underneath the 5th Street Bridge, a benefit to detectives because of its accuracy and credibility in court.
And that's pretty much what today's juries expect. They want the high tech.
And the same can be said for the officers who use this device, because for them it's another tool to help serve and protect. In Grand Junction, Aaron Luna, KKCO 11 News.
The laser mapping system can be used to make either 2D or 3D maps. Budgeting for next year is underway in Mesa County, and cuts are expected in all areas. Revenues from 2011 are now expected to go down 15.6% from the 2010 budget. As a result, every county department is being asked to identify areas where spending can be cut. County officials say the focus is to cut spending in ways that will have the least negative impact on citizens. The county administrator will present a preliminary budget to commissioners in October. The final budget should be approved by mid-December. New unemployment numbers are out for Mesa County, and for the month of July, the unemployment rate stood at 9.5%. In 2009, for the same month, it was at 10%. Those numbers are not seasonally adjusted, however. Dolores County has the highest rate of unemployment at 14.2%, and Hinsdale County the lowest at 2.5%. Colorado's statewide unemployment rate is holding steady at 8%. A prison escapee and his fiancée, also his cousin, who have been on the run for almost a month, made their first court appearance this afternoon in Arizona. Bond was set at $1 million apiece for John McCluskey and his accomplice, Caslin Welch. They were arrested late Thursday at a campsite in eastern Arizona. McCluskey escaped from an Arizona prison on July 30th with 2 other inmates. He and Welch evaded authorities before being caught at the campsite just 300 miles east of the prison. The other 2 inmates were captured earlier, one in Rifle, as you may remember, and the other in Wyoming. During his arrest, McCluskey admitted to killing a couple in New Mexico. Dog the Bounty Hunter was apparently in Montrose tracking down wanted criminals. According to our friends over at the Montrose Daily Press, the dog turned Eric Ludwig over to a deputy at the Montrose County Sheriff's Office. Ludwig was wanted for failing to appear in court. He's now being held at the Mesa County Jail on bonds totaling more than $1 million. Back in April, Ludwig was arrested in Mesa County for alleged domestic violence. A man accused of nearly destroying a children's play castle at the Botanical Gardens admits he's guilty. 29-year-old Bradley Dodd pleaded guilty in court this morning. Dodd and Benjamin Lewandowski were arrested in June for breaking into the play castle and causing thousands of dollars in damage. Lewandowski pleaded guilty yesterday and was sentenced to 4 years probation. He also must pay restitution. Dodd will be sentenced in October. A black bear was hit and killed on Interstate 70 by a Colorado State trooper. Officials say at around 6:30 Thursday morning, a trooper was driving westbound on I-70 near the Rolliston exit when it struck the bear. The trooper wasn't injured, but his cruiser was damaged. State Patrol says wildlife clashes are common in our state, and you can't always avoid them. The best things to do, wear your seatbelt and try to look down the road as far as possible. The Colorado Division of Wildlife was called in to remove the bear.
Yes.
As we speak, Colorado State Patrol is out cracking down on drunk drivers. They're holding a checkpoint tonight in Mesa County, over the limit under arrest. That's their zero tolerance policy. Troopers say if you are planning to drink tonight, plan ahead. Make sure you have a sober and safe ride home. A second egg farm in Iowa has now been linked to the multi-state salmonella outbreak. Earlier this week, Wright County Egg Farm in Galt, Iowa recalled 380 million eggs. More than 1,000 people have been sickened with salmonella from what investigators believe are tainted eggs. Today in Hillendale Farms, also in Iowa, announced it was recalling eggs sold under the brand names Sunny Farms, Sunny Meadow, Wholesale Farms, West Creek, and Hillendale Farms. Symptoms of salmonella infection include fever, diarrhea, and abdominal cramping. The illness can be deadly, but no deaths related to this outbreak have been reported. Now to the ongoing crisis in the Gulf. We have an update tonight on the effort on the floor of the sea to try and permanently seal that fractured well. While there are new concerns now about oil that may be hiding below the surface. Jay Gray has the latest.
Package up A.
This evening, engineers continue their slow, meticulous work on the floor of the Gulf.
I will tell you, we are down to the very end of this process. We are moving very cautiously. We do not want to make a mistake. In the last several days, of this operation.
Crews are more than half of the way through ambient pressure tests, and so far the results show the well has maintained its integrity. If that pressure holds, teams will begin what National Incident Commander Thad Allen calls the fishing experiment, searching for debris from the explosion and collapse of the Deepwater Horizon rig.
So we know there's a pipe in there someplace, potentially maybe even 2 pieces of pipe.
If they find that fractured drill pipe, it will have to be removed before a new, stronger blowout preventer is put into place.
We want to minimize the risk when we intercept the well and all the drilling mud starts filling the annulus, that pressure will rise up, move through the seal into the current. If it moved into the current blowout preventer and capping stack, might actually exceed the pressure limitations, would result in a discharge of hydrocarbons into the environment.
There is new concern now about hydrocarbons already in the environment.
We collected these samples in June.
Researchers with the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute announced they found a massive cloud from the spill more than 3,000 feet below the surface of the Gulf, stretching for 22 miles and more than a mile wide.
We do not know what the fate of this plume now is.
Scientists were forced to abandon their work because of Hurricane Alex, but say their data is evidence there could be even more oil hiding below the surface. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Cleanup efforts got underway in Hotchkiss today after near hurricane speed winds took aim at the small Delta County town Thursday night. 11 News reporter Tim Ciesco gives us an inside look at the damage and explains why residents say this is a storm they will not soon forget.
Built by the town's founder in 1886, the old Hotchkiss barn has stood the test of time for more than a century. But in the short span of about 15 minutes, this once proud staple of Hotchkiss's history was left looking like an ancient ruin.
Never seen nothing like that to that extent, and it seemed to me like it lasted forever.
The National Weather Service says sometime between 4:30 and 5:30 Thursday night, massive wind bursts caused by thunderstorms moving across the western slope blew through the town.
So far what I've seen supports at least 70, 75 mile per hour wind speeds.
That's the equivalent of a weak hurricane. So even though he's going to be spending quite some time cleaning things up, Zach Hotchkiss says he's focusing on the positives.
We're lucky, loosen it up a little bit. I know in town there's a lot of houses that are hit.
Jean Day was not so lucky. She got home just as the storm moved in and had only been inside a few minutes when she looked out her window and saw a tree falling towards her.
A lot of, oh my God, help me, was going through my head, but it was just so fast. Just a big blunder.
And while she's glad that she and her husband made it out uninjured,
we could have been.
I want to see the logo on the banner.
Felt a little different. Very lucky.
Yeah, if we're going to see a little bit of it,
they'll have to live in their RV while the damage is assessed and repairs are made. Town officials say 5 other homes are also uninhabitable for the time being because trees fell on them too. Amazingly, not a single person was hurt.
We have not completely used to dealing with this sort of situation.
But dealing with it they are. Clearing debris from the roads, sidewalks, yards, and the fairgrounds, fixing damaged cable and power lines, and working to restore their town to where it was before this storm. In Hotchkiss, Tim Ciesco, KKCO 11 News.
Opens up.